What's up everybody, Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming here with another video, and I've been telling you that I really enjoy this game, AEW Fight Forever. Is it perfect? No. I've already reviewed it, I've already done first impressions, I've done 2 live streams, done some gameplay footage, played a live stream with my buddy Robert Storms, did a couple matches with him and his brother, and after doing that, after doing everything, from experiencing most of the game so far and basically almost everything, still unlocking a few things here or there are 5 ways that I feel that AEW can improve its current game or improve in a future sequel, because there are rumors that this game will be getting support for 3 years. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, maybe these improvements can make their way in. Now, I said this in my review. You have to be a hardcore AEW fan or a hardcore fan of classic arcade wrestling style video games. If you're just the average fan coming into it, then I would say wait for a sale. But it is not up to me to dictate what you do with your money. I'm just going to recommend to you if I can recommend it to you. Now, I've already told you what the recommendations in the current state that it is. Now, I've already said, this game has quite a few problems, but its good does outweigh its bad. But there are 5 core areas that I feel they can improve upon. Now sit back, enjoy, listen to why I think there are 5 ways that AEW can improve this current game or add future development with these suggestions in either a sequel. If you don't get that here. So let's get right into our first thing that this game needs, in my opinion, and that is this right here. More match types. Now, this game gives you what is essentially core wrestling mode match types. You know, from your one-on-ones to your weapon matches to your tag matches, free-for-alls, battle royal, etc. And I feel that for the price you're asking, you could have come up with a lot more. I mean, there's cage matches missing. There are just 6-men battle royals, 6-men ladder matches, or don't have it so restricted to just 2v2 and only have 2 modes that allow you to have more than at least 4 people. I feel that this game could have benefited from having more modes. Hell, even make up match types. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a wrestling arcade game after all. I think you should be more experimental with what you're introducing. And I get they wanted to play it safe, but I think if you wanted to really stand out from the WWE 2K games, you could have just thrown in some wild matchups. I mean, Exploding Barbed Wire match is original, and I do enjoy it, but more stuff like that. Give us more stuff like that out the gate, and this could have been a killer. On to number 2. Now this one I speak because I'm the kind of guy that likes to create. I like to craft things in a wrestling game. I like to create my friends. I really want to get back into doing my little wrestling YouTube series again, creating different subscribers from fans to friends to followers to trolls and haters, and just let the simulation run its course. But with the current option, I'm very limited on what I can make. Don't get me wrong, I can still make what I want to make, but I kind of have to mix different things that I'm already using on other wrestlers. You know, if you would have added a lot of more crafting, creating materials to not only create yourself, but to also create multiple people, because at best I've just been able to create 12 people, maybe 20 if I do it right. And there are some creative options that are, yes, you can unlock and earn, or use the in-game currency to unlock. But I feel that there should have been a lot more creation out the gate. I remember the creative tools in all the SmackDown vs. Raw games. You know, those creative tools. I know the 2K games have a lot of creative in them, but I'm going back to SmackDown vs. Raw, how all those games, at least all the games before 2K took over, had so much creation. I used to spend hours creating my character, creating different arenas. I remember when you get to create your own special techniques, when you got to create your own replay video, your own pyrotechnics. I feel that since 2K has been removing certain things from its game creation system that I think AEW could have taken and brought in whatever concepts that 2K don't want to use or feel doesn't work in a realistic simulator. Bring all that wackiness in. You could get far more creations out of it. You can create far more unique well, not match types, but different people you could fight online with their characters instead of just using the baseline roster, which it is cool, but there are people like myself that like to create, and I really wish there was more. And I feel if they can just add stuff in, or yeah, add more free stuff in to create with, I think I would change my mind. Now to number 3. Improve the gameplay. And what I mean is, I mean it from an online perspective. Now, playing the game by yourself, there's a lot of accessibility options for you to change the controls and make it simpler for you. There is a couple of issues, though, that I do have to address, and one of them is the same issue I've always had in every wrestling game, from the classics to the 2Ks, even to this one, is the finickiness of the reversal system. The most important thing you need to do in a wrestling game is land perfect reversals. I say that the only way you can play this game and get the reversals to work properly is if you play on easy or normal. Playing it on hard or elite, you're just not going to be able to reverse the enemy, and you can click the button telling you that it's L1 or R1, or the easy options of changing the controls to just use square, triangle, circle, or X, or X, Y, B, and A for the Xbox and the Switch remote. I think that if the reversals were a bit more ironed out and some of the moves connected more, the only thing this game has lacking with its combat is the combat's cool. The combat's flashy. You feel you feel the power of your moves. Characters do get hurt. You can really see that, but they need to connect and flow more. It's very hard to get into the groove when you can't feel your own move connecting. And that especially happened today when I was playing with my buddy Robert Storms and his brother Matt Storms. We were all enjoying a couple of matches. Me and Rob was able to do a couple of matches, and we had no problem reversing each other's moves. But his brother Matt was struggling to be able to do the reversals, and me and him had the same options turned on. Yes, I struggled a little bit with doing the reversals. It almost feels like the reversal is kind of like an RNG type of thing. It's whether you get it or you don't get it, and it's random. I would say if they would have just gave it like an analog system of you can battle the other player pressing the button quicker than you type thing, draw a little bit from SmackDown versus Raw, which I think SmackDown versus Raw at least had a better reverse system because it was always tied to either the L1 or the R1 button more effectively without using your stamina bar. But I know in wrestling games, to make it fair, everything has to be tied to your stamina, your momentum. But there are just some situations that you can't get out of, especially when you're getting pinned. I only got hit with 2 ultimates, but I was still in perfect condition. I should have been able to break out of it, but I was unable to break out of the attack. And that's the one thing that kind of bothers me, is that I get it. This is arcade style, but you need to draw a little bit from your competitors. At least take from your competitor and improve where they're failing. And I know this is a thing for some reason with all wrestling games. And I notice it's also a thing with certain sports games. When there's always a reversal system, reversing is always the toughest thing to do. I remember when I was playing one of the 2K games, the reverse button was always triangle. I was always going to hit it, and the controller would vibrate to let you know you have succeeded in doing so. But when I did it, it didn't work. It would never work. It used to throw me off. And I always to wonder, was something wrong with my controller? Is it a skill issue? And that's not the case, because if it was a skill issue, you wouldn't be able to get the reversals, period. But there are times where I get them, and there are times where I don't. And it disorients the gameplay, and it throws me off. Now, maybe in a couple patches, they can improve the speed and improve the rate of when you can do it instead of it feeling random, because it could lead to some cheapness, especially online. Single player, not so bad. But when you play online or playing against another player, it can be really distracting to a point. And that's where I'm leaving it off. Let's go into number 4. Sitting at number 4 is a better career mode. I've stated this before that I know I'm in the minority, that I actually do like campaign in my wrestling games, but not just playing as the different wrestlers and going through their own little careers in the games of old. But I do enjoy creating my own character and going through my own journey as Rise to the Top. And this is where I got to give it to the SmackDown vs. Raw series and some of the 2K games. They actually allow you to make your choices, make your decisions, which can affect the course of who you wrestle, what titles you go for, and it gives you the option. The only thing that the AEW game did was take a campaign and just make it into an overglorified challenge mode. Fun the first few times, but then it does wear thin. And I think if they do a sequel, because I don't think you can do it in this game, do it in a sequel and actually give us like a rise to stardom or a true rise of an elite, to go with the theme of AEW. But that's all I gotta say, a better career mode in future. Now to my 5th and final point. What this game really needed, and they should have drew inspiration from the 2K games, because I doubt that 2K has the only right to do this, have a community creations mode where instead of creating wrestlers, or if you don't want to create some fan fiction characters like Spider-Man, Goku, Optimus, the games that the 2K community lab that allowed you to do in those games, AEW could have benefited from having community created content that you could download and add to your roster, and in vice versa. But who knows what we're going to get in the future with AEW. There's not much to say about community creations. It's just that this game really needed it. So that's all I got to say for the top 5 ways AEW could improve in a sequel or upon this game. Be sure to like, subscribe, favorite. This is Emperor John Kill 3D. If you still like the game, tell me more in the comments and tell me what you would want them to improve in the sequel. See you all next time.